less than 2 weeks from today, I have my first show in over 14 months. And I want to tell you that I am in the best shape of my life on the saxophone after this quarantine. I mean, my technique, my tone, everything is just at the highest level. I know more songs now than I've ever known. I've like really shed the piano. I'm kind of a monster now. I picked up the guitar. I've been writing music like crazy. I just couldn't be better musically speaking. That's what I want to tell you. But I don't want to lie to you. And sadly, none of those things are true. Okay, let me explain. Some of them are true. I am playing May 6th at the Baked Potato with my band. First time in over a year. Well over a year. Excited about that. I have picked up the guitar several times during quarantine. I haven't learned how to play it. What else is true? That's about it. So I mentioned this in a video last year. What I have made this year mostly are a lot of excuses, and I did make a lot of hair, which I recently cut off because that experiment had sort of run its course. Outside of that, and a lot of time with my kids, which has been amazing.
So, sorry that we paused it, but there's a bad problem with my dad's computer over there, so let's go back to it. I didn't know about mosquitoes a long time ago, so I know about them now. Okay, guys, look at this. A sword. I put it in my back.
I can't say that that I'm where I would have hoped I would be with this after all this time. But let's not dwell on the past, all right? The point is, I don't have much time before it's time to get out on stage and play again, and I'm feeling kind of anxious about it, to be honest. A lot anxious. Not because of the COVID thing, because of just me. You know, my play, like, what if I don't know how to do it anymore? Also, tomorrow I'm leaving on a trip, and it's like our first trip since this whole thing. We're gonna see some family I haven't seen in 2 years. Everybody's vaccinated, don't worry. I don't know why I'm whispering, but every time I go on vacation, I always bring my saxophone, sometimes the soprano, but I don't end up playing it. And I can't afford to do that this time. I just can't. It's gonna be too long. I can't go that stretch right now before a show. So what I always tell my students, and I've been telling people this year, and I need to take my own advice here, is go back to the source. When you get stuck, as many of us have been this year, literally and figuratively, uninspired, feeling unmotivated, and I'm speaking about me now, I always find redemption. I don't know if that's even the best word for what I'm trying to figure out here, but I find something. I find a spark when I go to music that gets me excited. And to be perfectly honest, recently some members of my virtual studio have just been putting up, they've been doing self-challenges, transcription challenges, posting stuff in our forum. It's been so exciting, invigorating. Most recently, Sam, well, two things. Alex posted a video of him transcribing this Chris Potter solo from the album, be right with you, from the album Gratitude, and I highly recommend this album, which got me looking for, see, I lived in New York when this came out, early 2000s, and I was at the CD release party for this with Brian Blade on drums and Scott Colley on bass and Kevin Hayes on piano at the Knitting Factory in New York. And the audience alone that night, I mean, John Schofield, Dave Holland, Kurt Rosenwinkel, and Josh Redman, I think were all standing around where I was. I had a mini disc recorder with a microphone up my sleeve and recorded some of it. So anyway, so Alex posted this video of him transcribing Potter's solo on the Source, which sent me looking for this recording, which got me back excited about it. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of that. But then Sam started posting these videos of him transcribing a chorus a day of blues, like an Eric Alexander solo. And then he did this like behind the scenes thing, and he was talking about the resistance, you know, with the capital R, which, oh my gosh, you know, I just like, anyway, it was really motivating for me and kind of reminded me that the original spirit of these videos was just a way to kind of have a progress log and share that journey with you, but also with me. I know that sounds weird, but just trust me. So anyway, I need to take some of my own medicine here. Go back to the source. Going back to the source of what gets me fired up about practicing is discovering music through the act of transcribing. learning music by ear, trying to figure stuff out and reverse engineer it and go, wow, that sounds amazing. What is that? Let me see, can I figure that out, you know? And a lot of times I find people get caught up in, they wanna know how it's gonna transfer, the transactional nature of it. Okay, I put in time and I transcribed this person playing a solo. Now, how will that show up in my own playing? Like, how can I use that vocabulary? And that is definitely one way that you can use the act of transcribing. But for me, that's not my primary objective. The primary objective is just to stand in somebody else's shoes, so to speak, and feel what it feels like to play good stuff. Feel that sound, that texture, the whole thing, the environment, really just try to get in that space. I always find a lot of benefits from doing that. So anyway, so here's this, oh, and by the way, I'm trying this new neck. So as I listened to some of this, I had headphones on and I think I had my, this thing was blocking the mic, so the sound's a little funny, and I'm still getting used to the intonation because this is a different, it's like a different slant than my Mark VI neck. But anyway, another topic, I suppose. Anyway, so I'm going over this Chris Potter solo, and it's just so killer. And you know, so here's how I go about it. Wait till you hear some of this. It is so thrilling. To be up front, I might have to do this in 2 parts because I have to leave this morning. Either one of my kids or my wife is gonna come in very shortly and be like, we gotta go. Like, I should be packing the car right now. But I just wanted to share a little piece of this because it's exciting to me. It's getting me excited. Let's do it. I mean, first of all, just how amazing that the grit, the passion that's going on there. And what is it? It's basically a major triad and then a major 6th chord. Leave it to Chris to just make a major triad sound like, you know, something sent from angels above. Then just goes to minor. And on those B flats, this is something I took from Chris often. I don't know if this is exactly what he's doing, but the way I get this sound on the B flat is I hit this B flat, but then I also finger, the right hand part would be E flat. So I'm basically playing E flat without the A and G fingerings. So it's like this B flat, and you put the E flat on the side and you get this. It's just sort of a brighter B flat. These little embellishments, so killing. Subtle. Oh! All right, so that's gotta become a loop. I'll turn my loop feature on. I think I saved this one already, so check it out. Sometimes I go for the last note I hear, so ba, boop, 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 ba. I don't know what all of that is yet, but I can hear a ba. And I can, from a shape standpoint, I can tell there's this there's a shape going on with these wide intervals. So I'll get that last note that I hear. Now maybe I'll go for the first notes I hear. Ba, 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 ba. Sounds like a pattern. So he's basically playing an open minor triad there. C sharp, G sharp, C sharp, E. I'm speaking in tenor key. Same thing, up a whole step. E flat minor as an open voiced triad. Okay, so let's go on here. Ba ba. So now I'll go back and make that loop twice as long. Let's see. I think if I hit the 2 times, let's see what happens. There we go. So see what I did? I made a small loop, figured that out, and then I fast forwarded the same amount of time. So like this much, got that, and then this much, got that, then went back to here, but made it twice as long. Get the whole thing, and then repetition, 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 repetition. It's killing. So let's go on. Oh my gosh, that opening, what is so ridiculous? Listen to this. I mean, it's so powerful and straight, and God, what the band is doing is just incredible. And Blade, really pay attention to what Brian Blade is doing on the drums and the interaction, especially there. The fact that Scott Colley is playing these long, open bass notes that he's not walking, and listen to how powerful that is. These long things. I mean, I think, so this album, Gratitude, Chris is expressing gratitude to his idols like Coltrane and Sonny Rollins and Eddie Harris and Joe Lovano and Michael Brecker and Charlie Parker, and get the CD with the liner notes to check it all out. But this one is the one dedicated to Train, the source. So Scott Colley's like long bass notes here, just bow, and then what Kevin Hayes is doing with all these cluster voicings on the piano. Super cool. I think I even remember seeing a chart somewhere of Chris's for this, where like the piano voicings were like 7-note voicings. They were like these giant, it was just like, it's just B. It's like all of the notes in B. Is it sus? Is it major? Is it dominant? What the heck is going on? It's kind of a sussy open thing, right? So he's playing in between minor and major a lot of the times. A lot of what he's playing here. So like this area that he gets into. Like even that, I mean, that note he lands on, that's just the root of the chord, but he's wrapping it up with like the 5 minor. And a little slide from into the 3rd, but just a little tiny grace note in from the minor 3rd. And it just really hits it. Development there. That's one of the many reasons I love Chris's playing so much, is what he does with motifs, the way he builds melodic structures, and he's not just running changes, although nobody can, you know, do what he can do when it comes to playing, you know, just running changes, like technical, incredible stuff. But really at his core, one of the things Chris is so great at is just, he can deliver these simple phrases and build melodic shapes one on top of the other that develop and unfold in such a way that you're really there with him. Anyway. So again, I recognize that as a pattern, as a sequence. And he has these sort of like reverse grace notes going on. So instead of sort of a more like, sometimes you hear a lot in like smooth jazz and stuff, like the regular grace note gets overused and stuff, but here Chris is using grace notes from the top. I've just heard this so many times that I haven't really transcribed it officially, but I've heard it so much. And honestly, I heard it so much so many years ago, I probably haven't heard this in 15 years. So he does it again with the motif. And you hear that space that he leaves? Listen, that space is so important, and then the way that Blade fills that space, incredible. Right here. I mean, listen, you gotta listen to Blade here, man. Oh man. Listen to the end of that phrase. Listen to Blade at the end of this phrase. Oh shoot, sorry. Woo, okay, so how do I put that back? One more time. Oh my gosh, we'll have to do a part 2 because I know I have to go and this video is getting long.